Welcome to the channel where hidden treasures in your pocket change come to life, and today we're diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in recent times, the 1980 USA 1-cent coin, a tiny copper piece with a massive story, a face value of just 1 cent but a jaw-dropping collector value of up to $392 due to its wild errors, unexpected minting anomalies, and historical uniqueness that have stunned numismatists across the globe. So buckle up as we unfold the mystery behind how a small coin from 1980 became a high-demand rarity, starting with the very origin of this penny produced by the U.S. Mint during a transitional period for coin materials, technologies, and designs, with millions struck that year at various mints, primarily Philadelphia and Denver, but only a few emerged with rare flaws that now drive collectors into bidding wars on auction floors and digital marketplaces alike. And one of the most astonishing reasons this coin is skyrocketing in value lies in its rare double-die obverse errors, where the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" appear doubled to the naked eye due to a misalignment during the die production process, making it instantly valuable for anyone lucky enough to find it. And as these errors were not caught during the quality check phase, some slipped into circulation and have now become numismatic legends, while others exhibit off-center strikes where part of the design is missing due to the coin blank not being perfectly positioned. And even more fascinating are those rare 1980 cents that were struck on foreign planchets or transitional metal blanks, leading to strange weights, odd colors, or unusual thicknesses that puzzled collectors for years until lab tests and advanced equipment confirmed their odd origins. And when such a specimen pops up with provenance and authentication, its price tag shoots up into hundreds of dollars or more depending on its preservation, with mint state grade coins fetching extraordinary premiums because of their pristine condition and uncirculated status, often sold for over $300 in top grading slabs from PCGS or NGC. And then there are coins with clipped planchet errors, where a segment of the coin appears sliced off, a result of overlapping blanks during the punching process. And these coins are not only intriguing to look at but also a testament to the human error involved in mass minting, which makes each flawed specimen uniquely desirable. And as we move deeper into this coin's appeal, we find collectors going crazy over repunched mint marks, particularly on the Denver struck coins marked with a small d under the date, where the mint mark was struck more than once in slightly different positions, creating a ghostly doubling effect that increases both aesthetic and market value. And sometimes the anomalies extend to the coin's reverse, where the Lincoln Memorial might appear misaligned, lightly struck, or featuring die cracks, thin lines on the surface due to worn-out dies, that some say resemble lightning bolts or tree branches, giving rise to nicknames like the Lightning Memorial or Vein Lincoln. And these artistic accidents continue to charm seasoned collectors and casual hobbyists alike, with some specimens carrying strong cuds, which are raised lumps on the rim or field caused by broken dies, creating one-of-a-kind looks that spark immediate bidding frenzies whenever listed online or showcased at coin expos. And what's even more electrifying is that these 1980 pennies are still found occasionally in circulation because people simply don't know what they have, meaning it's very possible that your change jar, your old wallet, or a coin box passed down from a relative could be holding a penny worth hundreds, and you wouldn't even know it unless you looked closely under a magnifier or had it reviewed by a certified grader. And this thrill of discovering hidden wealth is what keeps the 1980 penny relevant and in the spotlight. And as social media, YouTube, and coin forums buzz with viral videos and image shares of error-laden examples selling for hundreds, the coin community keeps expanding, with new enthusiasts hoping to strike it rich with pocket change, making now the perfect time to educate yourself on how to identify valuable 1980 pennies, what key signs to look for, how to preserve them, and how to submit them for grading and authentication. And as inflation eats away at the buying power of a dollar, the idea that a single cent could be worth $392 becomes not only appealing but deeply satisfying, proving that knowledge is indeed power, especially in the world of numismatics, where 1 cent can tell a story of human error, history, and economics all rolled into one copper coin. And as we wrap up this incredible journey through the errors, stories, and market values of the legendary 1980 USA 1-cent coin, don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe to the channel for more hidden coin treasures and unbelievable money facts waiting to be uncovered, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to discover the next big penny that could change your fortune. Next, today's journey takes us deep into the mysterious world of the 1995 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a humble penny with a face value of just 1 cent but a shocking worth of up to $166 due to the remarkable errors and unexpected minting mistakes that transformed this tiny copper-plated zinc disc into a highly sought-after collector's item. and if you're a numismatist, a coin hunter, or simply someone with a curiosity for rare finds, then buckle in because we are about to uncover all the subtle yet powerful features, minting anomalies, and conditional quirks that make this coin not just valuable but a symbol of how human error can lead to historical significance in the world of coinage. So let's start by diving into what made the year 1995 a pivotal time in American coin minting. By the mid-90s, the U.S. Mint had long been issuing Lincoln cents since 1909, and with each passing year the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark, produced billions of pennies to satisfy public demand. Yet, among these masses of circulating coins, a small percentage from the 1995 D batch emerged with defects that would puzzle collectors and experts alike, elevating their value on the numismatic market due to a combination of minting mistakes, die issues, planchet anomalies, and post-strike characteristics that together or independently create unique variants of this iconic coin. And unlike the famous 1995 Philadelphia double die penny, which is known for its strong doubling on the obverse lettering, the 1995 D Lincoln cent presents a different set of collectible traits, including but not limited to off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, die chips, BIE errors, repunched mint marks, RPMs, strike-throughs, and even rare examples of coins showing incomplete dies, each of which adds layers of interest and value to the piece and makes it a gem worth holding onto or fetching significant dollars at auction. And let's start breaking down some of these errors with detailed exploration, starting with off-center strikes. When a coin is struck off-center, it's because the blank planchet was not properly seated in the striking chamber when the dies came down, and depending on the percentage of the off-center error, this can either be a minor curiosity or a highly valuable rarity, with 1995 D off-center Lincoln cents showing between 10% to 80% off-center, typically commanding increasing premiums, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible, because these identifiers confirm the coin's origin and elevate its desirability. And then we have the broad-struck errors, which occur when a coin is struck outside the retaining collar, causing the edges to spread and create a flatter, wider appearance without the usual reading or raised rims, and such errors are highly prized among collectors due to their visual distinctiveness and the mechanical anomaly that produced them. And in some 1995 D pennies, this phenomenon is clearly observable, and when combined with a pristine condition such as mint state MS ratings, it can drastically increase the coin's auction performance. Now let's discuss die cracks and die chips. Over time, minting dies undergo stress and fatigue from striking thousands or millions of coins, which can result in cracks on the die that are then transferred as raised lines on the struck coin. And these cracks can form intriguing patterns across Lincoln's portrait or along the reverse shield and memorial design, and in more advanced cases, chunks of die can break off entirely, creating die chips or even so-called cut errors where a portion of the coin's rim appears distorted and filled with metal. And the larger and more uniquely shaped these die chips are, the more attention they draw in the collecting community, with some 1995 D specimens showing remarkable cuts near the date or Liberty lettering. And then there's the famous BIE error, which is specific to Lincoln cents and occurs when a die chip forms between the letters B and E in the word Liberty on the obverse side, resulting in what looks like an extra I, and forming the word BIE. And though this error can be found in several years, its presence in the 1995 D penny series adds another level of collectability to an already intriguing piece. And let's not overlook clipped planchets, a striking visual error where a coin is missing a curved portion due to the blank being improperly cut from the metal sheet. And such clipped planchets in the 1995 D series are not overly common, but when discovered, they fetch a premium, especially when paired with strong strikes and little to no circulation wear. Moving forward, we delve into the realm of repunched mint marks, a phenomenon resulting from the manual punching of mint marks into working dies before the U.S. Mint transitioned to computer-assisted engraving. And in 1995 this practice still created instances where the D mint mark appears to be stamped more than once in slightly offset positions, producing a doubling effect that is highly prized among RPM enthusiasts who appreciate the nuanced history of hand craftsmanship within an industrial process. And then we find strike-through errors, where foreign materials like grease, debris, or even fragments of other planchets interfere during the striking process and create shallow or ghost-like impressions on the coin's surface. And in the 1995 D penny series, such strike-throughs have been documented to obscure portions of Lincoln's bust or lettering on either side of the coin, giving rise to mysterious and often artistic deformities that significantly elevate the specimen's rarity and monetary worth. And speaking of artistic, let's explore the unique visual appeal of some of these errors that have been preserved in high grades, coins that remain in mint state condition. Graded MS 63 or above by third-party services like PCGS or NGC, often carry more value than their error type alone would suggest, as condition. And I appeal are vital factors in numismatic valuation, and some MS-67 red examples of the 1995 D cent with dramatic die chips or RPMs have sold for well above $150, further cementing the role that pristine surfaces play in transforming error coins from curiosities into investment-grade collectibles. And what about color? Because pennies minted post 1982 are composed of 97.5% zinc with a 2.5% copper coating. Their tone and hue can shift dramatically over time depending on exposure to air, moisture, and handling. And red designation coins, those with full original mint luster, are especially valuable when combined with errors, while red-brown or brown pieces may sell for less unless the error is substantial or dramatic. Now one must also consider the possibility of transitional errors or anomalies arising from leftover planchets or dies intended for other coin series. And while no verified 1995 D transitional errors have been widely publicized, the existence of such anomalies in other Lincoln cent years keeps collectors on alert, and some have even speculated about the possibility of 1995 D cents being struck on dime planchets, foreign blanks, or with misaligned dies that could yield underweight or odd-sized coins that pass unnoticed until closer inspection reveals their true identity and rarity. And this leads to another realm of value, the thrill of the hunt and collector demand. Because rarity alone doesn't determine a coin's price, it's also about how many collectors desire it, how frequently it trades hands, and how memorable or photogenic the error is. And the 1995 D1 cent is the perfect storm of all these factors, combining an iconic American design, a fascinating year in minting history, a slew of possible errors, and just enough documented sales at high values to send waves through the collector market and raise awareness that even in your pocket change, treasures can be found. And if you're wondering how to identify a valuable 1995 D penny, the answer lies in a magnifying glass, attention to detail, knowledge of minting processes, and a willingness to learn what makes an error genuine versus post-mint damage, because scratches, discoloration, corrosion, and other environmental effects do not count as mint errors and may actually reduce value, whereas true mint-made mistakes add historical and financial worth. And finally, let's talk about the role of grading and authentication, because coins like the 1995 D penny can show high premiums when properly certified. It's worth submitting strong candidates to reputable services for grading, which not only confirms authenticity but also documents the coin's condition and attributes in a market-recognized format that adds trust and liquidity when buying or selling. And across online auctions, coin shows, estate sales, and collector forums, the 1995 D error penny continues to gain momentum as a sleeper hit among US cents, often flying under the radar of those unaware of its potential. So now that you've learned about the minting mistakes, the mechanical anomalies, the die varieties, the visual oddities, and the market demand that together create this $166 marvel out of a simple 1995 D Lincoln cent, we encourage you to dig through your coin jars, inspect your change, and maybe even hunt through rolls from the bank, because you never know what valuable piece of American minting history may be hiding in plain sight. And if you found this deep dive informative, intriguing, or inspiring, then don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin revelations, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a story where small change equals big money. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2001 1-cent coin from the United States, a piece that many people overlook as just another penny in their pocket change, but under the right circumstances, it has shocked collectors by being valued as high as $29 or more, not because of the metal it's made from or the face value printed on its surface, but because of the compelling errors, fascinating minting mistakes, and historical anomalies that make it a collector's treasure. And in this special video, we're about to explore in exhaustive detail how this unassuming coin from the year 2001 can actually be worth big money, turning a simple 1 cent into a coveted item that sparks bidding wars and collector admiration all around the country and beyond. And what's even more mind-blowing is that many people have these coins lying around in drawers, piggy banks, or forgotten coin jars, completely unaware of the hidden value tucked away in plain sight. And to really understand how and why this coin reached this surprising valuation, we need to delve into the minting history of the 2001 Lincoln penny, which continues the familiar design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday and continued until the bicentennial redesign in 2009. But what happened in 2001 that made some of these coins incredibly unique comes down to the specific and uncommon errors that occurred during production at the United States Mint, and while the Philadelphia and Denver mints struck millions upon millions of these coins for general circulation, a small number were released with defects and irregularities that break the standard expectations for what a coin should look like, and in the realm of numismatics, where collectors value condition, rarity, and uniqueness, such deviations from the norm are like gold. So let's first talk about some of the most common and most valuable errors found on the 2001 1-cent coin, starting with the double die error, which is one of the most well-known and sought-after minting mistakes in coin collecting, and while double die errors are relatively rare, a few 2001 pennies have been discovered to show doubling, particularly on the obverse where Lincoln's profile appears, and more specifically in the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2001, itself. And what makes a true double die valuable is that it's not a case of machine doubling or simple post-mint damage, but an actual error during the die creation process, where the die used to strike the coin has itself been improperly impressed with a doubled image, and coins struck by that flawed die all bear that same doubling feature, making them part of a verifiable and collectible batch, and collectors will pay significant premiums for well-preserved examples of these coins, especially if the doubling is strong, visible without magnification, and present on high points of the design. But that's not all. Other valuable varieties of the 2001 penny include off-center strikes, where the coin is not perfectly aligned with the dies during the striking process, resulting in part of the design being cut off or missing, and in some extreme cases, the date might be partially missing while Lincoln's portrait is skewed toward the edge, and the value of such errors depends greatly on the percentage of the off-center strike, with 5 to 10% being mildly collectible and 50% or more resulting in very high demand, especially when key design elements like the date and mint mark are still visible. And then there are broad strike errors, where the coin is struck without the collar die that normally keeps the planchet in place, causing the metal to spread outwards and resulting in a larger and flatter appearance without the typical raised rim. And a broad struck 2001 penny in excellent condition can fetch several times its face value simply because of how it deviates from the norm. And we also have die cracks and cuds, which occur when the die itself becomes damaged through wear and tear or metal fatigue, leading to cracks that transfer raised lines or blobs of metal onto the coin's surface, and cuds specifically are raised areas where a piece of the die is broken off entirely, usually near the edge, causing an unstruck blob of metal that collectors find fascinating due to the visible deterioration of mint equipment. And these types of errors, especially when dramatic and well placed, can significantly raise the value of a 2001 penny. And then we must mention the possibility of clipped planchets, which are coins that were punched from sheets of metal with overlapping cuts, leaving a curved or straight section missing from the edge of the coin. And clipped planchets from 2001, although not incredibly common, are prized among error enthusiasts for their unusual and easily recognizable shape. And another possibility is the presence of transitional errors or wrong planchet errors. And while there are no widely known examples of 2001 pennies struck on wrong planchets, it's always worth checking weight and composition, because accidental use of blanks meant for foreign coins or other denominations has happened before in U.S. mint history, producing coins with the wrong metal content, size, or weight, which can dramatically boost their value. And it's worth noting that condition plays a huge role in determining a 2001 penny's value, and coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC as MS65 or higher are significantly more desirable than worn or damaged examples, and coins with errors in mint state condition, meaning they show no signs of wear, are especially rare because most error coins were found in circulation after some use. So an error coin from 2001 that's still in brilliant uncirculated condition is a collector's dream. And speaking of collectors, the strong demand for error coins comes from a passionate community of numismatists who track down every known variant and anomaly, and a coin like the 2001 penny can generate significant buzz when new discoveries are made, especially if a previously undocumented error type is identified. And because the mintage numbers for 2001 were so high, over 7 billion combined between Philadelphia and Denver mints, it might seem like there's no chance of rarity. But rarity isn't just about how many coins were made, it's about how many of a specific error exist. And when that number is small and demand is high, even a penny can be worth dollars. And in the case of the 2001 penny, the most valuable coins are those that combine multiple desirable features: strong errors, good condition, and clear provenance. And we've seen auctions where collectors pay over $29 for a single coin simply because it ticks all the boxes. And if you're sitting on a coin jar right now, It's worth taking a close look with a magnifying glass, checking for doubled letters, off-center strikes, missing elements, raised bumps or blobs, or clipped edges, because you could unknowingly be in possession of a coin that turns out to be highly collectible. And many people who have made big money on error coins didn't start out as collectors, they just got curious about an odd-looking penny, did a little research, and realized they had something special, and with the right knowledge and a bit of patience, anyone can potentially find a valuable coin like the 2001 penny in circulation. And remember, coins like these are historical artifacts, small mistakes that slip through the cracks of an otherwise tightly controlled minting process, and they tell stories, not just about mechanical failure or design misalignment, but about human error, system flaws, and the intricate technology behind currency production. And that's what makes coin collecting such a fascinating hobby, especially when something as small as a penny from 2001 can generate interest, excitement, and even real financial value. And the lesson here is clear: don't overlook the humble penny, because it might just be a numismatic gem hiding in plain sight. And we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the surprising value and exciting errors of the 2001 1-cent coin. And if you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss another incredible story from the world of coins that could change the way you see your pocket change forever.